Oh, so crazy when you burn in hell forever, 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 forever.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tea Time with Jedi Joe. Jedi Joe, what kind of tea is that?
It's ginger, like a ginger honey, where it's like a packet. Um, it's like granules. It's not like a bag. It's like granules, like crystallized ginger that's also infused with honey.
That sounds like a tea that some kind of food snob would eat. You got like fancy tea. You're like a fancy hoity-toity chef with your fancy tea.
They're probably located at your local deli or bodega, like in the coffee area.
You know who else is located at your local deli? Me and Jedi Joe. Here comes the lame. A Boulevard Bullies production. Happy episode 4 to everybody watching. Thank you for tuning in and supporting us. Happy episode 4 to you and your shitty hat, Jedi Joe. Your shitty Phillies hat. Oh, geez. Went with the Bryce Harper tea as well. Ugh.
It's hot right now, bro.
You know why? Because he was at the Little League World Series getting inspired by the youth, drinking their adrenochrome.
Did you watch that game and see the interviews they were doing and stuff with them, like during the game?
Yeah, how they were like super excited about it and stuff.
No. Like, did you see when they were on the field mic'd up? Have you noticed that the MLB does this now, where they like talk to people when they're mic'd up on the field during play?
Yeah, I've seen it. ESPN is the only one who does it. I remember they did it with like Nimmo and the Mets.
Yeah, they did it at both sides, Nats and Phillies. Did Harper, Castellanos, and I don't know who won the Nats, maybe like the shortstop and the center fielder. But they had kids asking them questions and stuff like that too. But it's just funny because they have to pay attention to the play. So right when the ball's about to catch, like, look, 1 second. And then it's like, and then the ball gets hit to them. Like,
yeah, you hear like
like
all
the
their
chain,
jewelry.
the mic is like the mic's like. It's so silly.
Yeah, I have seen that. That's a fun little part. Yeah, and they loved being around the kids, and they had like the Little League game. Anyway, let's talk about some wrestling. First of all, breaking news right before going on the air. Bray Wyatt passed away, died at the age of 36.
Like a half hour ago.
Yeah, Triple H tweeted. I was just actually looking at Twitter as you were getting your tea. So crazy. And also Terry Funk passed away.
Yeah, we were all ready to talk about Terry for a little bit, and then this kind of was just dropped on us, and now we have been put through a little wrench in there.
Yeah, threw a little wrench. First of all, yeah, let me shout out everybody. Brian, Loganstein, Aiden, Daniel, Bren, of course, a dear friend, Urka, Loganstein. Hello, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, so what is this? 1 hour ago, Triple H just received well, you broke the news to me, Joe.
Yeah, I texted like a dozen people like in a matter of like minute and a half.
Yeah, so you broke the news to me, and then Triple H has just received a call from WWE Hall of Famer Mike Rotunda. That's Erwin R. Shyster, right?
Correct.
Who informed us of the tragic news that our WWE family member for life, Wyndham Rotunda, also known as Bray Wyatt, unexpectedly passed earlier today. Our thoughts are with his family, and we ask everyone respect their privacy at this time. And then The Rock just weighed in, of course. And he said, I'm heartbroken over the news of Bray Wyatt's passing. Always had tremendous respect and love for him and the Rotunda family. Loved his presence, promos, in-ring work, and connection with the WWE Universe. Very unique, cool, and rare character, which is hard to create in our crazy world of pro wrestling. Still processing losing the GOAT, Terry Funk, yesterday, and now Bray today. My love, light, strength, and mana to the Rotunda family and Funk family during this tough, heartbreaking time. As always, thank you for the house. So, yes, freaking crazy.
Yeah, this is probably like, I don't know, one of the big, I mean, like one of the biggest deaths I remember in wrestling, like that I can remember is probably like Benoit and Eddie. But they were regulars on TV. You know what I mean? Like Funk hasn't wrestled. Funk was what, 80 years old? Not to.
Yeah, well, it's always different when an older, elderly person, and Terry Funk was kind of not in great shape. He was getting old. You know, he was old as hell, and yeah, Bray Wyatt is a year younger than me, or was a year
younger. Yeah, 2 years younger. He's 36.
And also, it's kind of like when Eddie and Chris Benoit passed away. It was like, that was like 20 years ago. So,
yeah,
like they were still like adults to me. Like it's like okay, I'm 17, 18, whatever. Even in my early 20s, still they're not like my peers. They're like adult people who are constantly on TV. They're like wrestling superstars in my eyes still. And not saying Bray Wyatt isn't. It's just crazy because it's like, wow, we're the same age. It's kind of like a mind flay.
Well, it was two sides of the spectrum. One was younger than us, and then one was an elderly.
79 was Terry Funk. I'm seeing,
and only in a few days. So I'm sure we'll see some of it on SmackDown and AEW. I'm sure they'll do some sort of salute to them.
Yeah, it's just it's crazy, sudden. When I was reading that he was trying to come back from a potentially life-threatening illness. It was a life-threatening and career-threatening illness. But it wasn't like really publicized or talked about. And, you don't really know what the illness was.
You also don't know if the shit's like a work, too, the way shit is now,
No.
Not like his death. Not his death. No. I meant like the stuff, before that. You know what I mean?
Everyone's going to go crazy when the Fiend lowers himself from the rafters of Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
And it's actually he
with Edge on his back, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's gonna be a huge pop. Huge
new
pop.
Brood. The new Brood.
Yeah, so absolutely crazy. I don't want to speculate, but obviously after what's his nuts died, what's the guy? Brody Lee died. You were hearing that Bray was taking it hard, and it was, he was going through a lot of turmoil, and he was trying to get his shit together mentally. And then even when he came back as the Uncle Howdy, he kind of showed his more emotionally, scarred side, and was being more, more realistic. And so obviously the guy had a lot of stuff going on with his health, both mental and physical. Who knows what happened? But rest in peace. Crazy, crazy stuff, Joe.
I'm sure we'll have some more information on next week's show.
Yeah, I mean,
we just can't presume and speculate.
Yeah, it's kind of like sad and dark that when somebody dies who's famous and young, you think that they might have killed themselves. You think they maybe had a drug overdose or like some kind of crazy accident, or something, or I don't know, maybe this health thing that was going on. I don't know. So I guess, yeah, I'm sure that there's going to be outpouring of love. Is he now the new, is he like wrestling's Kurt Cobain? Taken from us gone too soon. He was a genius. Now all of the things that he did are sealed in this capsule of wow, he died so young. This,
Yeah. I actually had the chance to meet him, which was cool a few years ago.
Oh, yeah.
When he first came into back into the scene. Not in the E, but it was at WrestleCon. And I wasn't even planning on meeting him. I think I was just bored at WrestleCon. I'm like, I'm gonna go meet Bray Wyatt. So you just buy the ticket on the phone on the Eventbrite or whatever like that, the gimmick. And then I think I had him sign an action figure or something like that. And I had some words with him. I was like, what have you been up to, man? And he's like, all sorts of things. I was like, oh yeah. He's like, he's like, I've been chasing monsters. I was like, oh, I swear to God, he said that to me. I was like, all right, well, at least you're keeping busy. And he bust out laughing. So I have that to at least.
That's a fond memory.
Talk about. Yeah. You know how these meet and greets go. They don't really rush it. He wasn't rushing anything long. The line was long, but it wasn't that long. But still, had some words or whatever, and that was it.
And obviously, the news broke in the last hour, and you already have the Bray Wyatt signed figure on eBay, posted on eBay, right?
I think it was always on there.
Ooh.
So
you're just getting notifications blowing up. The bidding is skyrocketing.
So the way this usually works, I was talking to my girl about this. So when Scott Hall passed away, those are the most mutated people come out of the the woodwork when a wrestler dies, and they go on eBay and then try to like buy stuff, but then they have like buyer's regret or whatever reason, like, or maybe they buy multiple things at once, because you could just cancel it, any way you see please on eBay. So I think what happened with Scott Hall was like someone bought the figure I had of him, which had been up there forever, and then I think they received it and then returned it, and they said something was wrong with it. They didn't want it. Like, they just found any excuse to cancel or whatever like that.
It's like eBay noobs.
They're not noobs. They're just like scumbags. Like,
Huh.
I mean, that happens on eBay all the time, but yeah, it's just even worse when a wrestler passes away and then people start going on there to buy their stuff. I'm like, yeah, they want to jump on there, but like they're jumping on there to get the stuff for what it's listed at, because they know people are then going to mark up after that. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a whole fucking thing. It sucks.
I'm not really big into the collectibles. I'm not very knowledgeable about memorabilia. Is it like stocks? Like something will be very valuable and then it can go down in value?
Yeah. So I mean, like for right now, like Bray Wyatt stuff's going to be going up.
But will it, just because he's now deceased, is it just going to go up forever now? Or is it like a hot period?
There'll be a hot period for like a day or two, or maybe the weekend or so. And then, but that's what I'm saying. Like, people will buy something and then they'll get it and they're like, I really don't care about him anymore now. It's like only 48 hours later,
Huh.
I don't want this anymore. And you could just send it right back.
That's interesting.
It's like Amazon. You can just send it back to Joe's.
Just send it back. Just put in you put in a different figure, send it back to Amazon.
Well, that's what they do at like Walmart and Target and stuff.
What, they put in a different you get it online, put a different figure in,
or you go to the store or whatever, wherever you find it, and like you take out like a Stone Cold Steve Austin figure and you put in like JBL or like a Ninja Turtle or something, and then return that, because Target's going to be like, oh, whatever, Yeah,
right.
I don't even know who this person is. So,
if you had to advise our collectors watching the program, do you think the Bray Wyatt stuff is more valuable right now, or is it like no, still hold on to it for another 10 years?
No, that's not how like collecting works anymore. It's not like my uncle will be like, you can get my comic books when I die. I'm like, dude, like your shit probably isn't really worth anything anymore because you waited too long. Like all those Captain America comics should have went like 10 years ago when Captain America was the shit, and like the MCU was the thing, Like, so, now there's very acute pockets of time that shit is like, it's all about like internet, social media hype or like pop culture hype. It's not like, you know what, I'm going to hold on to this and it's going to go, up in value. Like, that's not, I mean, look at even like crypto, like even that fell through. Like, it's the same thing. Volatile markets, inflation, like all that shit factors into it too.
So sell.
The AEW stuff, for example, is kind of like on the low end because the booking's really bad. Like when the booking was hot in like 2018, 2019, 2021, like that was like a very lucrative game. And then once they went to, kind of, that stuff went with it too.
Yeah. Well,
people don't want it. Like, it's not in their heart anymore. It's like, for example, like the new Star Wars Ahsoka show. Like, even I got the little itch for like, oh, maybe I should go buy some Star Wars stuff. Now I have like self-control, but it was no coincidence that I sold something on my eBay that was Star Wars related right after the new Ahsoka show debut.
Yeah,
and it was good. I don't know if you saw it. I don't know if anyone in chat saw it or anything like that, but it was an awesome premiere, and then it gets people hype and motivated to buy stuff. It sucks. They're not going to want to invest in it, time or money.
Yeah, a good example would be when Logan Stein got the bloody wrist tape from Dr. Redacted at King of the Kill, and that was worth at least $5, but now since he won the Insane 8, it's worth at least $8.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Logan Stein, sell that immediately. Sell.
Yeah.
Unless you think that Dr. Redacted might tragically die soon, in which case hold on to it until then. Do you have any Terry Funk memorabilia?
No, I never met Terry. and I can't even remember if I've seen him wrestle live, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, I've never been to an ECW show, never saw like a Chainsaw Charlie.
You know,
I mean, I've definitely been to like conventions and seen him in person.
I've definitely seen Chainsaw Charlie wrestle live at like a house show at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not really the memory of Funk. I do, my memory of Funk is that he was the guy who fought Mick Foley at King of the Deathmatch finals. Like, that's how I was introduced to him. I was like 10, 11. And I guess he was already doing his stuff in ECW, but ECW wasn't even really on my radar like that. And, you used to like send away for the videotapes. So I got the King of the Deathmatch 95, Best of Cactus Jack in Japan, and then I got Best of Terry Funk in Japan. So those VHSs are somewhere around. Kids, do not hold on to your VHSs because nobody has a VCR anymore. VHS is hard to get rid of.
I actually went to speaking of more death, I went to an estate sale. You ever been to one of these? You know how this works?
I don't know how it works, but I know what it is.
So like someone advertised, we go to a lot of garage sales and stuff, my girl and I, and it was an estate sales when like someone passes away or is moving. Usually it's when someone passes away, like an older person or something, and you can literally go into their house and just like pretty much buy anything. But in this case, everything was free.
They just get the shit out of here.
Yeah.
And was this like a relative? Did you hear about this in the newspaper?
We saw it on a Facebook group in our area in Philly. So we went right at noon. Found like a PlayStation, like 50 games. Found a whole box of VHSs and shit. They had a bunch of VCRs, ton of shit.
Dope.
It was crazy. Like we had like three carloads.
Wow. So you cleaned this person out. You got all their haunted stuff.
So I didn't take any jewelry. That's haunted.
Right. And don't any kind of music box, jewelry, old looking book. You got to steer clear of those. PlayStation, probably not that haunted.
No. Necronomicon. Yeah.
Yeah. Do not get the old leather-bound book from the deceased person's attic in the estate sale. Whatever you do. Anything that you have to blow dust off of, probably haunted. Yeah. Oh, man. Speaking about...
your soul.
Speaking of blowing dust, Tony Khan is on one.
Good transition.
Soraya, I can't believe I'm typing this, but R.I.P. Wyndham. I knew you day one of moving to America. You were the biggest sweetheart and were loved by everyone who met you. I'm in shock. Crazy, crazy stuff. Yeah, all this. I keep getting. I'm keep like Impact Wrestling's tweeting. I'm just reading all these tweets about Bray Wyatt passing away. Wyndham Rotunda. Wyndham's a great first name.
Oh yeah,
Wyndham is a great first name.
Wyndham
but anyway,
Hotels.
I want to talk before we have an AEW jam-packed AEW episode.
We got a lot to talk about.
But we'll start with the video game because I once again blew the dust off of AEW Fight Forever. I was really excited about it, Joe, because well,
they had a formal announcement about the DLC.
Yeah, and it's not even.
It was they bring them into the Jaguar Stadium just to announce this content they were adding, right?
Yes. And that's
a big deal. Hey, meet at the 300 level. Bring the camera crew there, the sound guy. Come by, Eddie Kingston, Kenny, the president, yada yada.
Right.
Just for this, right?
Yeah, just for this. And it's not even like it's just patch 1.03. Like that's basically, one.
Oh yeah, they're not even at 1.1.
Yeah, it's just a patch that added this football field fuckery, this stadium stampede. I am kind of getting a little excited about just the fact that they're gonna do their craziest, stupidest match, the Stadium Stampede, in Wembley Stadium. Like, that's kind of historic. It's kind of fun. So to promote that, the much-anticipated DLC, which is the Stadium Stampede match, got added to AEW today. So I just played it a few hours ago, and I have to tell you, Joe, it is the biggest piece of garbage that you have ever played in your life. It's like if you were a Fortnite, it's like Fortnite except there's no weapons. And there aren't even wrestling moves either. There are no wrestling moves
in the match
this mode.
Really? So what can you do?
Okay, so it's no mercy. The game itself, when you play, it's no mercy. You grapple, you can Irish whip your opponent, you can drag your opponent, you could slam your opponent, you could jump off of stuff, you could do all types of stuff, right? And that game isn't even that good either, but at least you could do wrestling. In this, every playable character is put into a class. So you're either a powerhouse, a high flyer, or you're balanced. The buttons have completely changed. The new mode has a completely different button setup.
Key mapping or whatever.
So and there's like jump. So it's like a third person over the shoulder, like exactly like Fortnite, and you're basically running around. You're in full sprint the whole time. So there's no run. Like there's no run, there's no grapple. You don't focus on anybody. There's no wrestling. You press like, I wish I took a picture of it. You press like triangle to kick. You press box to punch. You press X to jump, and you press circle to grapple. But circle, it's just one move. The grapple's just one move. It's like a slam. It's like a body slam.
So it's like Def Jam.
No, it's worse. It's worse than that. It's the worst piece of garbage ever. And so
they made another game.
Yeah, it's an entirely different game. And basically, the way that you win is it's, Battle Royale. You have to survive as the circle closes in throughout the arena. The cool thing is that you can go through this multiple areaed arena, which is pretty cool. Like, I wish that there was a wrestling game in there somewhere because it's a great idea. But, like, when you meet somebody else, you can either just do, like, a running strike to them, a kick, a punch, or do a grapple. And then you have to go around the arena and collect, like, weapons. And you don't even hold the weapon. It goes into your freaking, like, inventory spot. So I'm running around with Ricky Starks in my wrestling freaking trunks. And I have, like, I'm holding, like, 3 or 4 things in my inventory. And you have to, like, select them like it's like a gun or whatever.
The Resident Evil or something.
Oh, my God. It is so bad. It's so clunky. It doesn't even play well. There are, like, trampolines, right? Oh, okay, cool. Trampoline. But there are no, like, jumping attacks. Like if somebody's on, like, the level 2 of the arena, and you hit a trampoline and jump to level 1, I guess theoretically in midair you could press, like, box and do, like, a splash. But it would have to be timed perfectly and done perfectly. It sucks. It's terrible. It is impossible to enjoy. It made me so mad because, I was really excited about the game. I pre-ordered the Elite Edition to get all the playable characters, and I was then the game didn't work for a week. Then it worked. Then I just fell off. It's like, man, the story mode takes like 3 hours to complete. It's totally lame. Online's dead. You could have a ladder match. You could have a tag match, but you can't have a tag team ladder match. You can't have like a 3-person ladder match. The exploding deathmatch thing was cool, but that was like, it's like, doesn't have a lot of replayability.
Yeah, how many times are you going to do that?
And you know what else? The worst part of the game to me is that you cannot bust somebody open and get blood on their face from, like, hitting them in the head with a chair. The only way to make your character bleed is when you hit them with, like, barbed wire or throw them into barbed wire. So, like, let's say you give somebody, like, an X factor on the rampway. There should be, like, a percentage of a chance that they're going to be busted wide open, like in No Mercy. And they don't even do that. So they even fucked up the blood of their game. And now they have put the cherry on top with this absolutely deplorable, horrible battle royale, perk system, unlock, loadout, running around. So the balanced person...
They made another Fortnite, basically.
Yeah, it's like bad Fortnite.
Yeah.
It's like at least the people who make Fortnite, at least Fortnite, like, makes money, so they put the money into, like, having the game run properly. And this is the worst fucking thing. This might be the worst thing in all of wrestling video game history, this Stadium Stampede.
So what does the Elite version give you? It gives you Battle Pass or like access to all characters that ever come out in the future?
I know that there is a Battle Pass, but I don't even know.
They haven't probably instituted the Battle Pass yet then.
Dude, I played the game for probably like a total of 6 hours, and I've already bought everything in the store. And there's no like alternate outfits. Like, I guess you unlock, it's just so, it's like very video gamey. It's too video gamey. You know, it's just so
sounds like it's very bare bones.
Yeah, it
doesn't
is
sound like a finished game.
It is
like
it is
Diablo
the fucking
shit.
Worst. So yeah, like I guess they were going to institute a battle pass, but there's nothing to even unlock. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, Cody Rhodes was $50,000 in the AEW store unlockable character. Okay, so I won like 5 matches and bought him and everything else in the game. Like, it's so.
Yeah, they didn't scale the money and like the payouts properly that you can actually like grind out for like longer than like you just have to play 5 matches. That was
right.
it.
Yeah, or however many matches. Yeah. Yeah, they didn't even get the economy right on the game. I guess the alternate outfit is that if you win 50 matches with a specific character, you get their gold outfit. But it's like, why do I want to do that? They all look bad. Like, all the gold outfits look terrible. It's just they literally take all the design out of whatever the wrestler's wearing and just put like a metallic gold
Finish.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Are they gold or just the tights?
No, I wish they would just dipped in gold. That'd be great.
So that's kind of like how Call of Duty was, because you can unlock the skins, and then like I think when you had like the final unlock, it was like the gold, carbine, the gold AK, the gold, whatever.
Oh yeah, well that
means you grinded out all the headshots, all the kills, everything that was in that,
I think back in the day, Modern Warfare 2, maybe Modern Warfare 2. I think I had a gold AK at some point. The trusty AK.
I don't think I ever had a gold weapon. And now that I think about it, I got there.
Yeah,
I got close.
The game sucks. The AEW Fight Forever absolutely sucks, and it's like, it's embarrassing. It's an embarrassment to them. And the more I think about it, what'd you say?
Embarrassment to gaming. It's embarrassment to the fans. It's embarrassment. They waited a long time for this.
Well, yeah, and it's like they could have used it to maybe gain more fans. They could have used it to be like, oh, I'm a guy who doesn't watch wrestling anymore, but there's apparently like a new awesome No Mercy game. Like, if the gameplay was good, if any part of the game was good, you could like want to like it. Like you could like meet them halfway. I was ready to meet them halfway. And even if you take a look at the patch notes, like these patch notes are unlike anything you've seen from a regular video game developer, because it's like fix a bug where enemy AI does not attack you when standing on the apron. It's like, why'd you even release the game? Like, why does that have to be a patch? It's like,
well, all right. So the situation is very similar to Diablo, where like or Diablo 4. So the game was not finished. Neither game was finished. Sounds like Diablo was a little more finished, maybe because they just had a better, dev in Blizzard.
Yeah.
But the game's currently in season 1. It's still a lot of things that don't even work. Resistances don't work. Like a lot of stuff just doesn't work. A lot of the stats and stuff are broken. But now it sounds like in season 2, they've already showed like a roadmap with that. Like season 2's in like mid-October, and it sounds like they're finally going to fix like a lot of the quality of life stuff. And they've already slowly been patching it in, but now there's going to be like a big old update for season 2, and now it's going to like fix a lot of stuff. Like, is Fight Forever going to do that too, or are they just going to release random fucking clunky content and just keep exacerbating it?
Well, and also it's like they were very predatory in their advertising, because it's like the elite mode. You get, it's like they couldn't just put fucking FTR in the game. FTR needed to be DLC. Thankfully, like, the one good thing is that it was launch DLC. So if you got the Elite Edition, you got FTR.
Yeah.
But, the tag team wrestling in the game is not good. Like, you can't turn DQ off. You can't have a tornado tag match. So the only thing that you would do with FTR is have like a normal tag team match, which is fucking lame. But whatever.
Normal.
So, and then they said, oh, well, you
Tag
get
match with flat back bumps. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. And no blood, no naturally occurring wrestling blood. You only can go get the blood if you hit them with a barbed wire bat or go into the exploding barbed wire deathmatch. Terrible, terrible video game. Kenny Omega, I trusted him. I was like, this guy loves video games. He's going to make sure this shit is popping. And he failed us. He sucks.
Yeah, he's not a very good manager, president, EVP, kind of supervisor role. He's just like probably a really good gamer and a really good wrestler, and he should have just stuck to that.
Yeah.
That's coming from, like, he's one of my favorites ever.
Yeah, the more
Stay in your lane.
The more you learn about Kenny, the less likable he becomes. Much like the more you play his stupid video game, the shittier you realize it is. Oh my God, so bad. And yeah, so they said, oh, well, when you pre-order and you get the Elite, you get FTR, you get like Hookhausen, because that's when Hookhausen was a thing, and you get I guess the Bunny and Keith Lee. It's like, oh, you know what? That'd be cool. I'll play a few matches as Danhausen. That's fun. And they made it seem like you get those 3 separate packs of characters at launch. But, like, you only got FTR, and there's been no announcement, no roadmap as to when the other 2 packs of downloadable characters are coming out. And at this point, I don't even care, because I hate the game.
Probably haven't even made the characters, like the sprite yet.
Yeah, I was just thinking that as well.
It feels like it's extremely, like it's, I don't know, how big was the dev team? I don't know, like Blizzard and Diablo is like thousands of people working on that shit. So there really is no excuse. I mean, how many is whatever, I don't know who developed it, but
THQ or something. It's THQ and Ukes. And it's like, that was a big selling point too. Oh, these are the people who worked on No Mercy for the N64. It's like, yeah, that was 20 years ago. And they haven't made a good game since. And WWE got rid of them.
Like 27 years ago, pretty much.
Yeah. And they botched
2023, and those games were out. Well, No Mercy came out after 2000, but even just like anyone that was on like WCW Revenge, when did Revenge come out? 98?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. And there was WrestleMania 2000, of course.
Yeah, game took 5 years to develop and 3 weeks to be forgotten.
Yep, that's exactly what happened to me. And because I got the Elite Edition, I got to play it like the day before. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm into this. And I just played a little bit on Wednesday, and I'm like, man, I can't wait to I was like hyped. I'm like, I might take a day off, like spend my Thursday fucking.
I'm a call out.
Yeah, play this game.
Call out of work for this shit.
And dude, and then Thursday when it actually came out, it would load up on PS4 and you could do everything. But then when you hit play match, it would crash. And it was like that for a fucking week, Joe.
Damn.
Yeah, fuck them.
It sounds like there's no real, doesn't sound like there's anyone really working there. Like there's no one present. I bet the dev team is probably small that's actually working on it.
I mean, it's a piece of junk, and especially for the price tag. Like if they had made it seem more like an indie vibe, like type of game, and maybe made it like $40, or 30.
Thing should have like 30 or 40.
Yeah. Well, and and it's just not a good game. And that's a thing that AEW
right?
What?
How much was how much was it on PC in last gen? 60?
Well, I got the Elite, so yeah, like 75. I thought, because usually the Elite's
but
like
on 90. PS5 it's 70.
Is it?
Yeah, that's this current gen, so all current gen games are 70.
Yeah, well, I mean, what
all PS5 games at least are 70.
What a disappointment. What a horrible, horrible disappointment.
Sorry. At least they're fixing Diablo, so I'm getting back into that again. I needed like a week or two off.
You know who makes good stuff? You know what video game has never let me down? Anything, I don't know much about like Warhammer, the Warhammer 40K, but when they come out with a game, that game is dope. and it like works, and it's like it has systems, and the systems are polished and tested. You know, it's like you could do the what do you call it? Like real-time strategy, like massive war, and it's like, yo, there's a lot going on in this game, and it always works. And then I just started playing this like tactical game, turn-based tactical, and it's dope, and it's like so good. And it's like, there aren't a lot of games that come out that you're like, wow, this is really good, and people really cared about making it. Everything feels like a fucking cash grab.
Well, yeah, I mean that's why what we mentioned the other day or last week's episode about Baldur's Gate. Remember how it was like changing how people are perceiving, like looking at how gamers are expecting, like what their expectations are now from studios.
Right.
Like when like a game that's been worked on forever, like Diablo 4 or a Fight Forever or a Cyberpunk, like these huge, big AAA games that take so long, get so hyped or whatever, and they come out and they're not even finished. And you have Baldur's Gate, and everyone's like, this is the greatest RPG ever. This is an amazing experience. Why can't all games be like this? So people are just tired of getting shit on by these big companies. So they just need to kind of fight back in their pocketbook, in their wallet.
Yeah, you got to vote with your wallet, which the masses never do. So,
you can't just buy the game and then shit on it on Twitter. I mean, Blizzard listens to people shitting on it on Twitter and on YouTube. They listen to that. They listen to them all now. You know, they have to. But the game's gonna die. I mean, it kind of already is dying, but you know, they can salvage it if they continue to do this.
And you know, so I was playing this one match, this Stadium Stampede thing, and you know, I lost, and so you get to like watch the other people as the game like concludes. So I like click over, and I saw somebody like they had like the all gold Luchasaurus thing, and their online record was like 100 and something, and I'm like, wow, like I don't even want to imagine what type of person like would have grinded this game so much. It's like, oh my god, like
it just says straight AEW who like die hard.
Yeah, the same person who's like sending like Edge death threats if he doesn't show up at Wembley is like also grinding. And like they're like, this game is awesome. This is the greatest wrestling video game ever. It's like, dude,
everything I wanted.
Yeah, wow, it's just like No Mercy. Person's like 15.
Yeah,
never even played N64.
Yeah, video games need to step it up. These video games devs need to really step it up. Because I'm not like depending on how busy I am, I don't buy every game. Like look how busy this year was. Resident Evil 4, Baldur's Gate, Diablo 4, Jedi Survivor, Fight Forever.
Oh yeah, that's right up there with
But I'm saying like that's everything that was on my radar, and I had to choose not to, and like then there was Zelda too. I had to choose to not play certain games. You know?
Right.
I chose not to play a Star Wars game. Jedi Joe decided not to play a fucking Star Wars game because he knew between his time and money and also unfinished fucking games that he should just wait on that one. And that's what a lot of gamers should do, is also just wait.
Well, it's like when I'm looking for a movie to watch and it's like, oh man, you know,
Street Fighter 6 is another one.
It's like you know, like a movie just came out and it's like direct to digital, you know, it's like one of the newer movies like Wes Anderson, Asteroid City. It's like, oh shoot, here it is. It's on Amazon. Let me see. I really, really want to watch this. It's like, oh man, it's like $20 to rent it. You know, and it's like, well, if you just wait like 90 days, it'll be free. So it's like AEW definitely going to wind up on Game Pass at some point. You know, it's going to be like the free PlayStation game at some point. That's really what you got to do. It's like, even if
you
you
wait for $20, I'll do it for 20. I could do 20.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. It's like, man, you know, if I know you want to get that game at the midnight release for $60, but if you wait like a month, it'll be 40, you know, or like free. So I think that's what you got to start doing. That's what the fans have to start doing. Apparently Madden came out and they were going to make all these new changes to Madden. We're finally listening to you. That like we're going to finally fix Madden. And and it was like
how many?
and they fucked it up. I saw some clip that like the Dolphins away jerseys don't have the letter I on them. So all the players' names are all fucked up on the back. It's like who's working there? Who is testing this game?
Don't
like,
proofread the work. Yeah, proofread the work.
yeah, it's like and it's like, hey, do you need somebody to come in and test your game? I'll do it, and I'll take diligent notes. Miami Dolphins uniforms need the letter I. Here you go. Put this up the up the chute, to the top floor and get somebody to work on this.
It's like the Chiefs. Who are the chefs? The Sod Father.
Yeah.
You know that guy in that commercial? That's the Sod Father who worked on the Chiefs Eagles Super Bowl field.
That's the actual Sod Father.
That was in that Chiefs chefs commercial.
Yeah, this looks great. Who are the chefs?
Yeah, who are the chefs? But apparently the Sod Father had to come out and clear his name because it wasn't him who worked on it. It was some other guy because he was receiving death threats from Eagles fans. So,
jeez,
we take our sports very seriously here. If you couldn't tell.
Hey, speaking of Philadelphia sports, I'm all in on Jalen Hurts this year, my fantasy football quarterback. Let's ride. Fly, Eagles, fly. But not against the Giants. But never against the Giants.
And at WrestleMania next year after they win the Super Bowl.
Maybe Jalen Hurts will be competing in WrestleMania. He'll be the one to beat Roman Reigns.
Safe to say there will be an Eagle probably involved. I mean, they're definitely going to be there. If not, like Joel Embiid or...
Oh, it's definitely going to be Joel Embiid doing Suck It with Triple H and Shawn Michaels. 100%.
Yeah, probably. Joel, trying to think of the Phillies. They had, they're already starting the hype train for Mania here in Philly because, tickets already went on sale. And what did they sell? 90,000 or whatever it was across 2 nights. And they actually had Cody and Bianca at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia here. They were doing a bunch of stuff with kids. And then they had Kofi and Xavier Woods at the Phillies game yesterday.
Oh, wow. Oh, because the tickets went on sale. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, you guys got Kofi.
90,000 when Wembley was 80,000. Well, we sold 90,000.
Yeah, it was 80,000 in a month versus 90,000 in a day.
Yeah, now it's going to be like 90,001 in, 1 week and a half, or like it's really stupid. They're just like pissing contest.
Where are they going to have it? The link?
Yeah. The link only fits 70 though. But it's 2 nights.
So okay.
Talking like if 100 comps probably, they probably fit more for wrestling anyway, because I think Mania now goes all the way around, even with the stage. They sell it all the way 360. Remember when they used to just do it like they block off, depending on how the stadium worked, they would block off like maybe like a 16th of it or a quarter of it.
Yeah.
Sell like a few seats around the side if this was like if I'm the stage, Now they just go all the way around. Like you literally sit behind the stage.
That's where
they just
people
obstructed view, limited view, and then people have to go because they know they're preying on the FOMOs.
I always think about that, like it's like, oh yeah, like the attendance, they're gonna announce the attendance at like 90,000 probably each night. They'll do like 85,000 each night. It's like, okay, so if the football field holds 70 and you basically put as many seats as you can on the field, because it's a wrestling ring, not a football field. It's like, how many extra seats could you really get out of that? Not 20,000, not like 10,000.
You could get an extra like 5 to 8K.
Yeah, that's a number that I could.
Because you understand that ramp is big, the stage is big, that outside area, the ring, those stupid things, the things that hold up the canopy, because it's probably gonna snow. So I wouldn't be surprised if it snowed.
Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com reports, I was given permission to reveal that earlier this year, Wyndham Rotunda, Bray Wyatt, got COVID, and that exacerbated a pre-existing heart issue. There was a lot of positive progress towards a return and his recovery. Unfortunately, today, he suffered a heart attack and passed away.
Wow.
I encourage those reading this to respect the family's privacy, if at all possible. It's like, I'm sorry, this is impossible. I have to tweet Mike Rotunda.
Yeah, I'll wait till we get the Extra Examiner sort of official statement.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of conflicting things. So the only thing worse than the AEW video game is AEW wrestling, Joe.
Yeah, it's the what'd you say last week? It's the hottest thing to talk about and the worst thing to watch or something.
Did I say that? That sounds extremely clever.
Something, it wasn't exactly worded like that. It was just, it's always in the news, but it's nothing you want to watch or something.
Right. It's fun to talk about and horrible to watch, and unpleasant to watch. Yeah, no, it really is. And, I'm over MJF too. Like, so I shut it off. Like when right around the time that the Young Bucks and FTR were doing their sit down interview, which is now the third completely silent, like can hear a pin drop in the studio, like interview that they
yeah.
So walk us through, bring us through the AEW Dynamite, the Go Home show
for Wembley.
Stay home.
Wembley. I think it was somewhere in Georgia.
Okay.
In Georgia, at the town. I don't know. Whatever. They're not going to be.
Well, I mean, ever since Cody Rhodes left, like none of the fans are really that excited in Georgia anymore.
They started off with a trios match with the Bucks and Kenny versus Juice and the Guns, but it didn't really happen. They ended up just kind of brawling for like too long.
Way too long.
And then it ended up being like a 5-on-3, extremely messy segment to start the show. Once again, this is something AEW does. They like to just brawl every other segment. So and actually the brawling is what makes the booking confusing, because then your brain cannot differentiate like all the angles because there's so much chaos. So like I honestly thought that like this trios match, these guys plus the BBC and all their guys plus like the Embassy and Sting, like I couldn't tell you what the card is. Like I have to have a screenshot. Like besides maybe like 2 singles matches, I can't name every person in the match.
Well, and I guess, yeah, it was very strange.
Too convoluted and too much like over, just oversaturation or just overstimuli, I guess. Like I just can't,
Well, and
I don't know which way's up.
It's like the Young Bucks have the biggest tag team match of their careers coming up. And Kenny Omega's doing something else on the show. I guess he's like fighting like Don Callis or something. Like he's.
Oh, I think he's wrestling Take a Shit.
Right. Okay. Or yeah, something like that. Right. But it's like, so they open the show with the 3 of them coming out to the music that they only come out to when the 3 of them are together, even though they're doing something completely different on the pay-per-view. And then it's like, and then they're fighting like the Gun Club. And it makes absolutely no sense. The Gun Club and what's his name? Juice Robinson. Juice Robinson punched the ref, punched Mike Knox, and then no other ref came out to like be like no authority figure was like, this guy.
Aubrey didn't want that. Aubrey just had her makeup done. She doesn't want to get smacked around.
It's like so like nobody came out to try to stop this like unsanctioned brawl from happening, or even check on Rick Knox, who got punched. He's like 60 years old, got punched in the face, and then the match went on for another 20 minutes, and there was no pinfall. So it's just like
it was no match because FTR came out, and then they saved them, and then I was waiting for Cash to pull a gun. Actually,
yeah.
Have you seen the meat? Have you seen the meat? Because we weren't able to even talk about this. Because there's so much else going. There's been so much news this week.
We missed the Cash gun, the Cash gun thing?
Cash Club. Yeah, we missed that.
Oh my God. Yeah, apparently
you see the meme where it shows like Cash Wheeler showing up to Dynamite, and it's like Cena with the WrestleMania entrance with the trench coat, and he pulls out the Tommy gun and starts shooting.
Yo, he was probably walking around like just with his head down, like he knows he's in trouble, and then he's just very, very lucky to be like still on the show, and he's just like, he's like the nicest guy now. He's like holding doors for everybody.
Yeah. So yeah, that segment sucked. Next up, what was first of what about 19 Renee appearances on the show?
Oh my God, I hated this. I hated this.
So she's interviewing MJF, and MJF, as always, great promo. He said some silly things at first about getting a chubby.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna be all chubbed up.
But then he went on this whole thing about like, this is the biggest match and my career, biggest show, the company. Andre the Giant was there, blah blah blah. And he's like, well, I'm gonna be a giant if I win this match. He tied it together pretty well.
He messed up the saying though. He said, I'm standing on the shoulder of giants, but I'm standing on the shoulders of giants.
Well, didn't he also say Hogan and Warrior?
Well, he said, The Rock, Austin, Hogan, Undertaker, all the guys who aren't in AEW. And
they know that is such a bottom feeder, like load, not bottom feeder, but like, when you're trying to pull clout from them, who's above you, you know what I mean? You're trying to get the rub off them. You don't see people in WWE saying anything about, anyone that's in AEW or somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like maybe they kind of did that one time with Miz, right? He might have said something in like a promo somewhere like last year.
Oh yeah,
It was insinuated. They have rules where so AEW is the fucking Wild West, and they can just say they can go down the whole fucking roster and say it all day, and it just makes them look like shit.
And it's also like performative. Like it's like to get them, like it's like to be in the same conversation as those names, and it's almost like, look, WWE will never talk about us. They're evil, but we don't mind mentioning them. Look how confident we are. But it's like you're not doing it because you're confident. You're doing it because you want to like.
Getting cheap pops. Yeah, cheap pops too. Like,
he said John Cena, or it's like, or what they called like Daniel Bryan.
And Michael Cole.
Yeah, he called like Max like the knock off the Miz, and everyone's like, ooh.
Yeah. You're just a cheap knockoff of the Miz.
Ooh. And that's what I hate, dude. I fucking hated this MJF thing. You know what I hated the most about it? It was very, very strange. Why was he talking like he was on the news? Like,
because it was the two cameras,
right? So it was like a 2-camera.
That's probably what they were trying to.
So stupid.
They try that. It's them. It's like a production thing. They're probably trying to increase the immersion of that whole backstage.
And
how many segments were back there? 3, right? It was him, Cole, and then kind of different segment ish with the Bucks and FTR, but same vibe.
Right, yeah, they changed the lighting, or they were in like a different.
It was like they probably filmed it somewhere else.
But I just thought it was really odd because then you get like he's doing this weird rhythm, and I know it's like for editing, it kind of takes you out of it. But then it's like if you're gonna do that, the editing needs to be tight. So like he looks back.
The delay.
Yeah, and it was just like there were a few edits that were like really not good, and much like the AEW video game, they were like, well, this needs to be done. So like, I can't look at this anymore. Like whatever, that's a bad edit. It's just gonna stay in. Like let's just get it. We gotta get it out the door. I gotta edit 9 more of these. Like so it's like, and that was the only one that was 2-camera, and it was really fucking weird. And I'm so sick of MJF telling me long stories about like how emotional things are and stuff. And he's like, you can believe in me, people. And it made me sick too. It's like you could hear the crowd like laughing at the video. Like, could you imagine being at an AEW show and they're playing like a video and the guy next to you is like, ha ha ha. Oh, he's gonna be all chubbed up. Yeah.
Oh God, so good.
It's like,
so
please,
good.
sir, please stop chanting at the video package, please.
Yeah.
Jesus
I'll get out.
Yeah, it's like, dude, no. All right, continue. I'm sorry.
I thought it was lame at first, but I thought he kind of pulled it a little together by the end. He's like, I'm not a scumbag, I'm your scumbag.
You're a scumbag.
Next was a very long match that no one asked for. John Moxley versus Ray Phoenix. I guess Phoenix is having some issue with going to England. He's not going to be there. You heard about this?
Is that why they attacked him with a crowbar?
Well, basically, they had a really long match, and then they punched him in the face with a screwdriver. They hit him. It was like kink. And then he's going to the hospital.
Well, and
no.
This
but Pentagon can go. Yeah. Something about residency in the States. These 2 guys have had the most visa issues or work issues or like lost, skipped out on bookings than any wrestler I've ever thought I can remember. I don't know what their deal is. I don't know if it's because it's just like they come back and forth from Mexico so much. Like there was always issues in AAW. Like I remember going to an AAW one time in Chicago, Danny Daniels promotion. And it was like, oh, Pentagon and Phoenix aren't here. Or like it was like Phoenix isn't here. I think that's what actually, now that I realize it, maybe it was just Pentagon. Yeah, it was. Because then Gringo Loco took his place in a match. But it was Ray Phoenix. Again, always having issues. Maybe just a procrastinator with his paperwork or.
He's just a procrastinator. It's not.
I am too. I mean, I'm a huge procrastinator too. But I mean, if I'm getting paid that much, I'm.
Well, and this is this match was kind of the essence of what we're talking about, that like things overlap in like a confusing and not cool way. Yeah. So and like the history of who's mad at who and who's best friends and who's worst enemies.
It's all like bleh, yeah. Like it's all blurred and I'm just like, what is happening?
So what did Blackpool Combat Club do before? They did like the War Games thing, right? And it was like Blackpool
versus the Elite.
Right. So now they're in a.
When Kota showed up, when Kota Ibushi first showed up.
Right. And so, and then it was like Pop
was on the show, but has not been on TV at all since then.
Right. I think him and Kenny and somebody else are in a trios match. Well, whatever. But the point is that.
Well, like, why would they not, like, he's all elite, and why would they not have him come out at least and just do something?
I don't know. And like Eddie Kingston is now with the Best Friends. So the match is, it's Stadium Stampede with the Blackpool Combat Club, right? Which is just going to be Wheeler Yuta, Claudio, and Moxley, and they need 2 more members, right? And they will be facing Eddie Kingston, Best Friends, Orange Cassidy, and I guess Penta and Ray Phoenix, right, or whatever. So
yeah, but didn't LAX?
Right, so that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting at. So, who will be the 2 members of Blackpool Combat Club? Who will be the members? So,
wait, it's 3.
Is it 3?
It was 3 last week. So did they add someone this week? No.
I don't know. Maybe my count's off.
They add anybody. All they did was subtract 1 from the face team.
Because Phoenix isn't going.
So now, this is why it's so confusing. Every week we fucking review this, we watch the shows, and we still don't. And I write my notes, and I still don't know what's going on.
It makes me feel dumb, but I don't think it's. I don't think it's our fault.
How a lot of fucking people feel about the product, man.
So
that's why only half the arenas opened up.
So what happens is,
or whatever.
So what happens is the Blackpool Combat Club is about to kill Ray Phoenix with a crowbar, and you know.
Oh, it was a crowbar. That's what I said.
The problems are so like vast that it seems like unfair to criticize the details, because like they're not even like ready to start making the details better. They need to make the whole thing better. But one of the details that bothered me is that like they're holding Ray Phoenix and Wheeler Yuta's got the crowbar, and it's like he's standing there forever with this fucking crowbar, like waiting for the guys to come down the ramp. So who's coming down the ramp to make the save? But it's Eddie Kingston and Penta and somebody else, right? So they come down to make the save, and what happens? From the crowd or from somewhere, Ortiz comes out and stands in front of Eddie. Now, I haven't seen Santana Ortiz in so long. So, like, he's standing, and he's, like, looking at Eddie. He, like, cuts them off on the ramp, and then Santana's music plays, and he comes out, and I'm like, oh, Santana and Ortiz are going to join Eddie and make this save on. But it's like, no, that wasn't what was going to happen. So for some reason, they attacked Eddie Kingston and joined the Blackpool Combat Club.
Oh, they joined them.
Right. And it's just like.
Well, they had more spots, so it was a pretty easy.
But it's like, I don't know, they haven't been on TV in forever. So when I saw them, it was like, oh, I remember these guys. They're Eddie Kingston's friends. And it's like, no, they're not Eddie Kingston's friends. Actually, the Best Friends are now Eddie Kingston's friends. And Eddie Kingston's friends, LAX, are in Blackpool Combat Club for no reason. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? And then he's hitting him with this sock. And it was such a weird way to reintroduce them. Like, the way you reintroduce them after like 6 months is you have their music play and they come out. So like the way that the big shocking return was that they came out to stop a save on a run-in. You know what I mean? Like the third people out. And so like when they finally came back, instead of it being a big deal, it's like there were like 6 people standing on the ramp. Nobody is like actually on the same team. There are no actual teams. And then so you thought, oh, okay, that's what happens in wrestling. Like the guy's getting beat up by a crowbar with a crowbar. So now the next thing you see is that somebody's going to make the save. But it was like a blocked save. It was like a blocked save. And then like, so they continued to beat the shit out of them. Like, you know, the good guys were still getting their asses beat. And then, like, I thought, okay, this is everyone who's involved in this. No. Then Best Friends and Orange Cassidy come running to the ring to make the save after the blocked save.
What's wrong with Chuck Taylor's face?
I think he's a crippled alcoholic. That's what I think. He's got like I don't know, but you know he is.
I mean, like, yeah, I believe that, but like,
well, he's got like he looks like Moxley looked before Moxley went to rehab. He's like all bloated and red.
That's like halitosis or something. Like
maybe you know what? I take that back. I don't want to just randomly say that somebody's an alcoholic, because the only real alcoholic is me. And I don't have that red of a face, so. But yeah, he does look like the old Irish guy at the VFW. Like.
All right, so that segment is finally over.
Oh my god, so bad.
Next up is first of all, also by the way, so Renee runs up to Eddie. Did you see this?
Yes.
He's like, you. He should have smacked the microphone out of her hand or did something, at least add some more heat to it or something.
Yeah, it was very, very awkward.
But like, yeah, it was just like, she's like, and he's like, oh yeah, you see this, you got to do with this, and he should have.
See what your husband did? It's like, oh wow, oh my god, ooh, he broke the fourth wall. He broke kayfabe. He said your husband. Ooh.
Too fuck.
Yeah, and Ray Phoenix is dead. He got murdered by a crowbar. Like they had to put him in traction right there in the ring.
Jericho Ospreay contract signing. What'd you think of this?
I think that Will Ospreay looks like a real fighter.
His promo was really good.
Yo, he was like, yo, let me tell you, bruv. And I'm like, yo, I like, you know, ever since watching Ted Lasso,
it's like in his face, like spin on him.
Yeah, like I think Will Ospreay looks like he could fuck you up, dude. Like, but I couldn't stop staring at it. Kept cutting to Jericho. He looks like he's got a freaking chia pet on his forehead. It's got like chia pet head, dude.
Yeah.
Well, this is another thing that makes absolutely no sense and is super convoluted because it's like Don Callis hates Kenny Omega, right? And the Don Callis family was formed to try to murder Kenny Omega, right? And so Take a Shit, who is in the Blackpool Combat Club, is now in the Don Callis family. And I guess, I don't even know who else, but he's trying to court Jericho. And Jericho says, no, I'm not going to do it. So now, for some reason...
he said he would. He was.
Oh, he was, but then there was, like, the painting.
The AI-generated painting? Yeah.
Yeah, Don Callis likes to, like, really do his long-term storytelling with odd, like, AI paintings, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a woman. I think it's MJF's. It might be, correct me if I'm wrong, but it might be MJF's ex who did the painting. So
anyway, this is very odd because, like, Jericho is a bad guy or was a bad guy, and then the Jericho Appreciation Society like left him, but that didn't make him good in my eyes. And now Don Callis wants to you hear what Callis said? He goes, you know, last time you were in England, you were in a very serious accident. You almost died. Well, I brought in Will Ospreay to finish the job. So now he's trying to murder. He wants to murder Chris Jericho. And he has just hired this, you know, it's like a mercenary type situation.
The aerial assassin. That was his name for a while, too, right? I think it was.
I feel bad for Will Ospreay that he's got to fight Chris Jericho at Wembley Stadium. It's probably the biggest match of his entire life, and he's got to fight Chris Jericho. Bummer.
It'll be a good match. I mean, Ospreay's arguably the best worker in the world.
Well, and, you know, Jericho will be performing live.
Yeah, so is he going to perform his entrance and walk down?
I think he's going to walk, strut his stuff. He's going to Steven Tyler his way down to the ring.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking is going to happen. So now, and he's funny, he mentioned that too. Like Ospreay's like, this is just a way for you to like a bucket list thing for you or something like that.
Yeah, just so you could say your band played Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of true. Oh my God. And did you notice when Jericho came out, nobody was singing the song. Like they're no longer cutting to the crowd like screaming the song. And I mean,
everyone in England's going to be singing that shit. It's going to be the most lit crowd ever.
Dude, their show is so bad, and they are so lucky that, like, Wembley Stadium, I've been saying this for weeks now, like, the crowd is going to overshadow all of the problems. Like, it doesn't even matter. The storylines, the shit that we're talking about, nobody cares because it's going to be all about drinking beer, making up crazy chants, and watching some freaking wrestling, dude. And it's going to be a good time, but their freaking show sucks. AEW show sucks. I'm sorry.
Talk more about it in a second. Let me get to this Dynamite so we can go to the bathroom.
Yeah, Will Ospreay's awesome. He was the highlight of the show to me.
And then there was a Bucks FTR Wembley hype up segment or hype vignette. I mean, that was kind of like the weakest of the three, I thought.
So lame. You know what would have been cool?
I skipped the Adam Cole one. Wasn't there an Adam Cole one?
Yes, there was an Adam Cole one where they were questioning. Renee was questioning.
I'm sorry, I on the scroll. Yeah, it's there too. Yeah, go ahead.
Renee was questioning Adam Cole's sincerity. So whereas Max said, "Hey, Adam Cole is my brother, and sometimes brothers fight, but we always hug it out." Adam Cole took a different approach and was like, "There's nothing wrong," and he got like very, very offended. "There's nothing wrong with me and Max's relationship. Everything's fine, Renee. It's fine. Goodbye. This interview's over. Thank you." And it's like, okay. Adam Cole's a pretty good actor, though.
I skipped the best segment on the show, which was Darby and Nick Wayne versus AR Fox.
Another highly confusing.
So it was a tag match, and which when Wayne and Darby beat Fox and Swerve, and the Embassy and Swerve and Nana kick AR Fox out. Brian Cage attacks AR Fox, stomps him out, and then they save AR Fox, right?
Right. So,
and he joins. Well, no, Christian joins with the Embassy.
Well, no, the order is that it was a tag match: Nick Wayne and Darby versus Swerve and AR. Somehow, I guess Nick Wayne got like the surprise victory and pinned AR Fox. So AR Fox and Swerve were in the ring, and Swerve is a terrible actor. Like he's like
that was really he was sucking here. Yeah.
Yeah, he's very cringy with his like evil laughing and is like, I'm not feeling it. So he kicks AR Fox out of the Embassy, and Brian Cage gives him like whatever move. Why Brian Cage was in this thing, I don't know. But like, so he kills AR Fox, and then Darby and Nick Wayne, who were just in the match and are in the back, came back out with Sting. Why Sting wasn't with them for the match? Who knows? I don't know. Sting was just like not there, but then all of a sudden had his face paint ready to go. Came back out. Saved AR Fox. Darby says, AR Fox, you let me, sleep in your car or whatever, and I love you. I'll never turn my back on you. And it's so funny, though, because moments ago, AR Fox was wearing the bloody shirt from when...
They left him in a pool of his own blood.
Right, he tried to murder Nick Wayne. And so then, like, Darby's like, hey, it's all right.
Well, the WWE fans forget, so why can't AEW fans?
Yeah, I guess you're right, but
whatever.
It was, but there's moments like I thought the bloody shirt from the murder attempt was a nice touch, but then they turned him into a good guy. So it just doesn't make any sense. And then this is when, Darby was like, well, who you got now? Who you got? So Swerve and the Mogul Embassy, they're standing on the ramp. Well, who you got now? We're outnumbering you now. And Swerve starts going, ha, 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 ha. And then, like, it's like Austin Powers. And then, like, Prince Nana starts doing it, too.
So bad.
And then take it away. This was the true highlight of the show.
Yeah. Well, then Christian and... Was this when Christian and Luchasaurus came out?
So
Christian said something funny, but I forgot already.
Well, because his thing is that he loves pointing out that people's dads are dead.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I just also noticed how long has he had the turtleneck cut sleeve? because he always had the turtleneck. He got the turtleneck over, but now part of his gear when he works, he just cuts the sleeves off and still wears the turtleneck.
Oh, that's awesome.
This was last week then. So if you haven't noticed yet, then it maybe just started and he only did it last week because he doesn't work much. So
yeah,
and the last time I remember him ever working was versus Omega like 2 years ago.
So for some reason, Christian Cage has joined Swerve and the T-Mobile Embassy.
Mobile Embassy, yes.
And immediately it was like, hey, I heard you had a dad. And I heard your dad's dead. And so, like, that's like, he loves doing that. He loves, the mom is in the front row and he always goes, call me. Call me. Yeah. You know, if they want to do some real shit in the FTR Bucks interview, the Bucks should have been like, well, at least I'm not pointing guns at people in traffic. Oh.
Yeah. Oh. Hey, lame, bro. All right.
Yeah, the best part
now it's that Bucks FTR Wembley segment.
Right.
Dave Meltzer gave it 7 stars.
Yeah, the
and
best part of the show is that Christian Cage is a horrible person who loves making fun of people's deceased parents.
National 7-star match on the show, Sky Blue and Ribu Soho. They had Soho do, like during their entrance, they have like the screen come up, the second screen. And then it's like her doing a promo that was already pre-recorded. And then they had Sky Blue do her promo. And it was probably the worst of the worst that I've ever heard. Like, it was really bad. I don't know what she was saying, but it was the most generic thing ever. And it was really cringy.
Yeah, I mean, for some reason or another, fans can't get enough of Sky Blue.
I wonder why. So now, how did this go down? House of Black beat down Acclaimed, and then badass Billy Gunn returns. Was it Acclaimed came out and called out House of Black? That's what it was. And the lights went out. That's what it was. The lights went out, and then they started getting stomped on by the 3 of them and Julia, and then badass Billy Gunn came out, or Daddy Ass, and now he's going to be the 3rd man in another multi-man match this Sunday.
Right, but this one's for the trios titles.
Are they? Oh, I didn't even. Those belts could have not been on the show. It could have been on another team. Could have been on them. I wouldn't have been able to pick.
Yeah. Hey, this, based on what we have been talking about, this is actually not that complicated. 3 bad guys who all wear black beat up the guys who wear the pink, and then Billy Gunn retired, and it's like, oh well, who's gonna be our 3rd man? It's like, you know what? It's me. It's me, Billy Gunn. I'm gonna do it. At least you can fucking understand what's happening.
Yeah. At least that was like more simple booking,
Yeah. Well, we'll get to the match and predictions for Wembley later. Yeah.
I wrote down Excalibur goes through 100 matches in 30 seconds, and Taz ribs him with a compliment. He was like, "Good job." He goes to the next week. I'm in a collision. It was 6-way 4-man. Like, he's going through every match on Collision,
Rampage,
and All Out, all of the same in all of a matter of like a minute. And he's like tripping all over his words, like doing the like speed run thing. And then like there's a break. You hear like him breathing, and then it's like it's the Hardy's entrance or Aussie Open who came in for the main, and Taz is just like, "Good job."
Yeah, it's like a thing. Like, I think
meme. Yeah, it's a meme at this point.
Yeah, at one point I think it was legit where it's like, oh man, I got to cram this in 30 seconds. So he like actually did it, and people are like, wow, that was so impressive. So now he like does it. Now it's like his thing. Yeah, it's
Yeah, Hardy's Aussie Open was the main, kind of a whatever main, but I mean it's like a home show. So, then what happened? Cole and MJF came out. And they ended up having kind of a face-off, and we're like teasing each other, kind of like, not exactly hugging it out or anything like that. At the end of the show,
right? They did the Rock.
Oh, they did this super kick thing, and then he caught the super kick. Oh, that's what they tried to do, double clothesline and all that. Aussie Open had a promo, and then they were fighting with Aussie Open for a little bit, and then MJF was holding one of them, and then Cole went for the super kick, dude dodged out, and then MJF just grabbed it.
Right.
Like, oh, you tried to kick me?
That's something that really bothers me, and this happened in the Young Bucks match too. It's like when you're doing a super kick, you're like you're not face to face with your opponent, right? They're like you're like you got to turn to your side.
Yeah, you have to commit like out to not target. Like you're just kind of
right, and it's kind of like
basically like down at the fucking canvas at this point.
And so I just think it's so stupid that like the counter to the super kick is just a normal catching of the foot. Like there's no like you know what I mean? It's like the angle is so different. Like so you're not really the wrestlers who get their foot caught like you saw in this segment. It's so like unnatural. Yeah, it's like it's just so it's like why if he was going for a super kick, why would you be holding his foot in your hand at like your waist, like looking at him dead in the face if the guy was going for a super kick? That's like how you would counter the Austin stunner kick, is like catch the foot that way. But like, and everyone does.
It's in your groin. That's why.
Yeah, well, every wrestler across every promotion does it. It's like the counter to the super kick is the catch of the foot, like near the breadbasket, and it just doesn't make any damn sense.
Well, so does running the ropes. So they still do that.
Running the ropes makes perfect sense, Joe. If I was to whip you as hard
as
I
could, an Irish whip?
If I was to take your arm and whip you as hard as I could, and on the other side,
right there.
on the other side there were ropes, you would bounce off those ropes.
I'd burn the shit out of my arm.
And you wouldn't. It's like because I whipped you so hard that if like you're out of control. So, like, if you don't turn around and bounce off the ropes and use that momentum in your favor, then you just fly over the top rope, hurt yourself. So it's like it's like an emergency. Whoa, and then you turn and you're like, whoa, all right, I'm back.
Back,
so don't ever question the logic of the Irish whip, please.
That's it for Dynamite. But I also noticed MJF always have a tattoo here.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if it's new.
Birds. I think it's new. It's fresh. I don't know, but they've been wearing those shirts. So.
Oh, you didn't know MJF got a huge back piece. That's why they're wearing shirts now. He's going to reveal it at Wembley.
But yeah, that's it for Dynamite and Collision. I think there's just a bunch of multi-man matches lined up for Collision. It's like Punk and a bunch of people versus like Joe and a bunch of people.
Where's Collision? Is it in England?
Probably is if it's live on Saturday.
Or do you think they're gonna tape it? Or I don't know. I don't really pay attention to Collision.
I watched it last week. It was all right. But yeah. Bathroom break, and then we'll talk some Wembley.
Yes.
Talk even more AEW.
More AEW. The best thing to talk about, the worst thing to watch. Bathroom break. Take 5, everybody.
BRB.
Oh, so crazy to make you burn in hell forever, 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 forever.
and welcome back to Here Comes the Lame, a Boulevard Bullies production, with me, PK of the BLVD, and, yep, there you go. There you go, you're getting it. You know what it is, it's your Philadelphia Phillies Ronald McDonald red outfit, probably. It's just throwing the whole thing off. There you go.
This is the most focused I've been in weeks, I think.
There you go.
Mentally and lighting-wise.
Ooh, the old finger trick.
Yeah. The white thing, that's what it is, right? It's like the white of your hand. You know how people do that? Or no, they're checking the brightness when they put that white thing up and when they're doing photography.
Oh, well, that's for white balance. So you put up a piece of paper to make sure that white is white and other things aren't, it's not yellow.
Remember, that's funny. They used to do it at Paul Turner. Used to do that, or in whatever ROH ref at the time. They'd start the ROH shows, take a little towel, and they put that up in front of the hard cam.
Yeah, because, it could be too blue or it could be too yellow. So you want to get that right. Just a little tricks of the trade here at Here Comes the Lame. Oh, man, I'm exhausted by talking AEW, but not as exhausted as I was from watching that last week's episode of Dynamite.
Yeah.
Hey, Brent, how are you?
Before.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
It was a better Dynamite than the week before.
Yeah, well, I mean, not if you count the Texas Chainsaw Massacre death match, which was great.
I know, yeah.
Hello, shout out. Hey, Mr. 631, I believe that's Jackie Daytona in the house. Thanks for stopping by. Pork Chop Express, Turtleneck Christian, top 5 wrestling villain. Urka, of course. Bren, how are you? Hey, who are your top 5 wrestling villains right now?
Top 5 wrestling villains? Like heels.
Yeah.
Well, definitely Christian is one of them.
I agree with that, yeah.
Who else is a heel? Is CM Punk considered a heel?
Yeah, I guess so. Only to people who love playing AEW Fight Forever.
Yeah. There's not a lot of good ones in AEW besides Christian, I think. Unless I'm like spacing on somebody. Let me look at the card real quick. Yeah. I mean, I would say MJF, but now he's like a face or something, right?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go with, as for AEW, only Christian. I guess when it comes to like WWE, heels aren't a thing, dude.
Yeah, I guess the
heels are always weak.
The true heel is a lost art. And you know what's funny too is that was the super hype on MJF. That was like the thing. It's like he's a throwback. He's an old school wrestling heel. And I don't know, I guess in the age of social media, things have to change quicker. Like, you can't just be on, like, a run for, like, 5 years, 10 years. But to me, they didn't even maximize the true potential of MJF being a piece of shit. Like, before they started humanizing him and telling all these stories about how he has ADHD and he grew up in a beautiful home in Plainview, Long Island, but he experienced all the hardships that... so I
guess Dominic, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I guess just off the top of my head, Dom, definitely Christian's in there. Don Callis, maybe.
Yeah. Trish?
Maybe, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. You kind of have to, like, a Miz, kind of, I guess.
Chelsea Green, the Miz, maybe.
Kind of have to, like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like...
Cardona, if you want to just go top 5 in the biz.
Oh, yeah, no, he's one of the best ever.
Yeah. Let me ask
crazy
you
like we always had that in him, like he was always just a Zack Ryder, like, baby face, woo. And then the second he hit the indies, he just became like the most lucrative fucking indie worker because he just bottled up,
Do you remember when he briefly appeared on AEW and like nobody cared? It was like,
was that during COVID? Because I didn't.
Yeah, it was like early
Yeah.
A-Dub.
Yeah.
Blake
I guess
Christian, that's a good one.
he had a cup of coffee. That's what cup of coffee in AEW, right?
Yeah, nobody cared.
What happened with that? Why didn't he?
He like saved I think it was like, if I'm not mistaken, I think Cody was doing the open challenge with the TNT title, and I think he fought Warhorse, but then the Warhorse match only lasted for like 3 minutes before Cardona came out, and nobody cared. But I know that Cardona and
that's the thing. It's always odd to why didn't they sign him?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was COVID though too, so maybe things weren't as cut and dry as
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure Cardona's or vice versa were in each other's weddings, probably, or maybe Cody's like they're like this.
Yeah.
Cody and Matt. So.
Well, that's probably why he had a cup of coffee, because it was a Cody angle that he ran in on. Warhorse was a huge flop, yeah. So before we break down this Wembley, and before we break down All In, I want to ask you what your gut is telling you about Edge. Have you seen, for those of you who haven't been following, Edge was the main event of Friday Night SmackDown in Toronto, his hometown, and there was an outpouring of love and affection, and he fought Sheamus, and apparently it's going to be his last match, and they gave him his own custom rated R like retirement title, and it seems like it's been...
Oh, that was that blue Intercontinental?
Yes.
That shit was kind of dope.
Yeah, it was like a custom-made blue Edge belt.
Yeah, and I like that he picked. They did. Well, I'm sure he knew, but like it was Intercontinental. Usually they do all like the world titles and the undisputed titles and all that. For like Cena, like it was like the orange leather on the spinner. I guess you can choose like which one like represents you the most in your career.
So he got the title, he got the blue title, he wore the blue for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and he wrestled his last match in Toronto. And then I guess today or yesterday, I guess Edge took to the internet to address, I guess, some of the rumors swirling around. And he goes, it just felt like the right time. Edge seems like a nice guy. He seems like a cool guy.
Totally is.
He's like, the first time I retired, I had to. It was forced retirement. It was a health issue. But now this time, it feels good. It felt right. It's everyone's saying, oh, you should retire at WrestleMania. You should have your last match here. And he goes, I don't need that. To wrestle at Toronto and main event SmackDown with Sheamus, very satisfying to me. I don't have any bad blood with WWE. And he said something very interesting. He said he has a contract extension just sitting in his inbox.
Uh-huh.
And he said no matter what he's going to do, whether it's act or whether it's wrestle or whether it's sit on his rocking chair, the thing he cares most about is having fun, which could be a hint, and watching his kids grow up and do things that are fun for him. It just seems strange to me. It just all seemed to have happened so quickly with Edge. With
unceremoniously.
Yeah, with no real fanfare.
Even like the show ended like with no promo. It was just like 10 p.m.
Yeah. He didn't have like
there was like a WWE exclusive just on the site. Like that's how he's gonna go out?
And it just seems hard to believe that he wouldn't wrestle Christian for his last match.
Well, he has an opportunity to.
Well, Christian he's in a thing already. He's in this Sting Darby thing.
Well, I mean, like he would obviously have to finish that up, but.
So that's what I'm asking you. Is your gut telling you that we are going to see Edge in AEW? Apparently sorry to keep stopping you from answering, but apparently before Edge came back as a secret in the Royal Rumble that year, AEW was heavily pursuing him. Heavily in talks with AEW. And also, Edge, did you see the documentary of Edge coming back from the for the Royal Rumble?
I don't think I did. I might have.
Well, the documentary was a large portion of it was about how he very, very much cared about keeping it a secret that he was coming back. and that, with social media, it's very hard to keep secrets. And I bet you remember this because it was a meme. It was some fan was like, Edge is coming back, or like some website reported Edge is going to be coming back to the Royal Rumble. And he goes, no, I'm not. Like, I'm retired and I'm happy and I'm still hurt. I'm never going to wrestle again. And then, like, he just lied blatantly to try to keep up the kayfabe.
Yeah, he tried to do damage control diffusion kind of thing. And then, yeah. Like, now that he came out and said that, I'm like, yeah, he's not going to show up. And I'm like, yeah, maybe. Because look at it this way. They got this other pay-per-view a week after this other pay-per-view. They're going to have to do something really big. Like, you already said, like, they got to do CM Punk, screw the Young Bucks, or screw Kenny, or do something like that. Or CM Punk screws MJF, or whatever. And it's not going to be enough. Like, they haven't sold out. And they haven't sold out the United Center. And usually it's in the Now Arena or the Sears Center that fits like 10, 12K. United Center fits 20-something. And it's barely been touched for ticket sales. So if Edge shows up,
Edge could probably sell that building out. Yeah,
it would instantly sell out. Instantly.
Edge versus Christian, one last ladder match.
I mean, it could be one match. It could be one match and show up, or it could be, because I find it also hard to believe that, like, he would sit at home for 7 years and then come back with all this, like, heart and all this left in the tank, and to come back on, like, kind of like a whatever WWE run.
Well, he did wrestle in the WrestleMania. He fought.
Yeah, but he hasn't done anything the last year. They pissed him off probably by pulling him out of that Judgment Day thing. You know what I mean? So he probably is like, well, I want to maybe go and wrestle. People in chat are saying Edge and Christian versus the Hardys. Like, you can do that again.
Yeah, and Edge is a very
it's best for business.
Well, and isn't he in like a movie?
The shot of adrenaline the company needs, because they are fucking floundering. I know they sold out Wembley and yada yada yada, but let's be real. After that,
yeah, well, Wembley is like a huge deal for them, but I don't think it's going to move the needle or swing the momentum. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's going to make them a better program, just because, like, the show at Wembley is going to be dope, but I just think next week it's like back to like, oh yeah, this is lame. And Edge, he's promoting a movie. He's in some movie. Percy Jackson, Percy Harvin, Jimmy Garvin. I don't know. He's in something like that.
Ronnie Garvin,
Percival Pursuers or something. I don't know. He's in something with the word Percy in it. So he's promoting a new movie, and I just think that this.
What was the other film he was in?
What?
What was the other film he was in? There was like, he had a gun on the cover and he had this goofy look on his face.
I just know that he was on some sci-fi show. That's all I know.
Oh, it was that, and then there was something else. I forgot. It's like Drive By or something.
Well, I think that you're going to see him at AEW, because I think this is the first phase of his retirement, and the second phase of his retirement will be to do I don't know, because Christian is so evil right now that Edge is going to come back and Christian's just automatically going to be like his tag team partner.
No, I think it should be you would have to show up. You should only show up. I mean, like, I love Edge as a heel. I think we want to talk top villains.
Oh yeah,
currently top villains, right? That was the question earlier.
Yeah.
I would say top villains ever for me is definitely Edge. Like, ultimate opportunist, rated R superstar. Come on,
but he's
man.
like old, and he's old now. Like, you nobody's gonna hate him. I don't know. Christian got people to hate him. I don't know.
No, Edge definitely would, because those are the best heels. The best heels are the ones that are like the top superstars and everyone loves, but they're so good, Yeah.
Well, I find it hard to believe that Edge would not wrestle Christian at some point in his final match.
That, and but go ahead.
No, that's really what I keep going back to.
What do you think of all these like other hints and homages they've been doing on AEW TV? Have you seen this?
Oh, where
The
the only
Punk.
one I saw was that CM Punk wore the golden
Oh, so that happened
conquistador.
on Collision. That was the best part of Collision was the gold bodysuit. The what was it the
Conquistador, golden
first
vampire.
that that's what Edge and Christian were, and then that was a good way to start the show. But I mean, that's once you see the CM Punk segment on Collision, you can usually shut it off. So
What other hints? You know, and also
something with Kenny and the Bucks. Did I send it to you?
maybe. Uh,
Um,
well, and like you remember when CM Punk had AC written on his shoes? And it's like, oh, they're leaving the breadcrumbs. It's like, well, I mean, writing Adam Cole's initials on your shoes for somebody to notice.
Golden Vampire was the name also of the CM Punk alias.
Right.
Like the, yeah.
Because a vampire is like brood, you know, it's like a brood thing as well.
I don't know why did they show Kenny Omega here wearing a Cookie Monster t-shirt? Maybe they're just putting it in for like.
No, because he wore the Cookie Monster t-shirt because CM. And that was one of the quote unquote breadcrumbs that they left.
Oh, okay. To reference
that CM Punk, that was before CM Punk came back.
I'm sorry. Yeah, because he also had the Lemmy stash, and I'm like, this isn't recent.
Yeah, no, that's
or Omega had when he was a heel, he had the Lemmy stash.
You know, and I just think that Edge, like nobody is asking Edge what happened. Like if it was like just like he lied to that person, like one news source on Twitter found out that he was going to return at the Royal Rumble, and he had to do damage control and like lie to that person to keep and preserve the surprise. And I think the video that you saw him do about like, hey, whatever I do, I just want to have fun. You know, there's no bad blood between me and WWE. I love them. You know, everything's fine. I'm retired and I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do next. I think that's the same thing because he is trying to throw people off the scent that he will be going to AEW, which is very strange. Like if I was Edge, I would not go to AEW. I'd just be like, oh, okay, I'm retired. You know?
Yeah, but like I said, he seems like he still has a lot left in him mentally and physically. I mean, to get back into that shape and then come back and not really do anything and probably came back to the same bullshit and they weren't willing to play ball and deal with Vince's shit. You know what I mean?
Right. He probably has his
plus a good portion of his return got cucked because of COVID. Also on top of that, like he did not. They squandered the opportunity.
Right. And he hasn't really been doing much. You know, he got kicked out of the Judgment Day and he hasn't really been doing a lot.
When they finally decided to do something with him, they pulled the rug out from under him and put Finn Balor in it. And then he just wasn't around anymore. So, I mean, like, I talk with my friends and stuff like that and group chats and shit like that. And I told them today, like, I don't think so it's happening, but like, should it happen? Yes. Does AEW need it to happen? Yes. But they also need a lot of other things to happen. But they've also made a lot of things happen with CM Punk.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. It's like, it's really exciting when somebody jumps ship. But you remember how exciting it was? Like, what a big deal early on when they got Matt Hardy, when AEW got Matt Hardy, and then Matt Hardy just became a guy, you know? And it's like they got Bryan Danielson, and it was like so that reveal of Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole was fucking dope and super exciting. And then they just became guys on the show. So it's like, you know, does AEW,
just whatever. And anyway,
does AEW need it? Yes. Should it happen to me? No. But will it happen to me? Yes. But I guess we will figure it out. Let's get into this Wembley Stadium.
Just show up with the helmet.
Yeah, the motorcycle helmet.
Motorcycle helmet. Yeah. All right. So how do you want to do this? You want to just predict some quick shot predictions?
Well, yeah, let's just talk about it. We got 0 Hour. You know, they're calling it the biggest wrestling event in the history of the sport. Is it? I don't know. I mean, WWE...
Just a sidebar also to interrupt. There is a DraftKings pool, but it doesn't have questions yet. I think due to volatile in sort of or the lack of confirmation of matches. I think that's what pretty much it is. So we would have did the DraftKings pool today, but like we did with the last WWE
SummerSlam.
like we did SummerSlam. It's up, but the questions aren't up. So unfortunately, yeah. It's probably for MJF Adam Cole, but it might be for the whole show. Who knows?
Yeah.
But we'll give you our results next week for it on the next week.
We're gonna get hot and heavy with the gambling. Speaking of gambling, do you want to wager some kind of food eating challenge? Loser eats something bad. What kind of foods do you hate? What's like the most disgusting thing to you?
Like I mean, I'm a chef, so I've eaten a lot of things. So
Yeah.
I've eaten like grasshoppers and like pigeon and
Ugh.
like I'm pretty sure you can't eat mushrooms. Like I think I have a. You don't want to go that way with me.
Yeah, I don't want to eat mushrooms. I hate mushrooms.
I mean, unless you're gonna say like eat like fecal matter or something like that.
Huh. Yeah,
Like,
I
it's
mean,
not-
you've eaten pigeon merrily and happily.
Pigeon's really good. The meat is like purple.
That sounds disgusting to me, Joe.
When I went to France, I had it.
Well, like in France,
kale,
like a raised
escargot.
in France, the pigeon's probably clean. When you
Oh
say
yeah,
pigeon,
It's
I
not,
think about
I didn't like grab a Philly pigeon and just eat it on like a fucking wild man werewolf.
Well, I mean, you've had some of those Philly cheesesteaks might be Philly pigeon, actually.
Yeah.
So, all
We
right,
had
no
45
food
minutes for a cheesesteak the other day. It was good though.
challenge. From where?
Delisandro's, the arguably like the top place. I live like only a few blocks from there.
Yeah, only the posers go to Pat's and Geno's. That's what I was explained to by Philadelphia people. Pat's and
Yeah.
Geno's is for like the posers. If you're a real Philly person, you go to like JD's or something. Or
Yeah, and you go to Delisandro's up in like the in Manioc and stuff like that. Oh, by the way, you sent me the thing with the Philly cheesesteak on the pole or the ladder match for the Philly cheesesteak.
yeah,
You sent me that, right?
yes.
Yeah, I didn't go to that show. I dropped my friends off at that show. And I didn't go. They wanted $60 to get into that New Japan show at the arena. 60 plus fees.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I didn't send that to you. You sent that to me because your friend probably sent it to you.
Maybe. I thought I sent you the video of me dropping off my friends and being like, look at all these cretins. This is why I don't want to go to the show.
No. But yeah, that is crazy that it was $60.
$60 both days. And there was like front row was like $350, bro. For New
What?
Japan. Like Okada. I don't think Okada and any of those guys were on the show.
So AEW Wembley Stadium 0 hour. Obviously, the highlight of that is going to be the ROH World Tag Team Championship matchup. But just added, and I know, hold on to your hat, Joe, because Jack Perry, evil Jungle Boy, is going to be fighting Hook at 0 hour in Wembley Stadium.
Oh.
A.K. Hook. Hook is going to be fighting Danny Masterson, a.k.a. bad guy Jack Perry. That's the guy from That 70s Show.
Oh, okay.
Who
Yeah, well, was that announced on? Like,
I heard it as I was
Twitter?
not paying attention to AEW last night. I heard it.
What a waste.
Just announced.
So that's the first match, and then are they going to do Adam Cole and the tag match after for?
Yeah, that's going to be the main event of the pre-show.
Okay. And we already had your opinion on this. I was so stupid that they're coming in. So another thing, what also dawned on me when you said it was dumb that they would come out and kind of like blow the load of the crowd before the main event. And then also when MJF was like, I'm going to make this main event the biggest thing, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, well, maybe you shouldn't have come out in the pre-show then.
Right. Well,
You know what I mean?
Figure this. Anybody who is an AEW fan who follows the show is already going to buy the pay-per-view and watch 0 hour. It's definitely going to bump up the viewership from AEW existing fans. Like the 0 hour. Like I never watch 0 hour, but I'll watch it because I'm interested to see what they're going to do. Because this is an interesting thing. They've never done it before where the main event of the card are wrestling as a tag team in the pre-show. So it's like, man, that is interesting. Like, what are they going to do? What is going to happen? What could potentially be done to add more juice to the main event, like on the same show of the main event with the two guys in a tag? So it is interesting. It's compelling to me. But imagine you're not an AEW fan. Imagine you're like a casual. And, you know, normally back in the day, the pre-show, they would be trying to get you to buy the pay-per-view. You know, it's like to hook you on the pay-per-view. So imagine like Excalibur trying to explain this whole convoluted storyline of why the two guys who are fighting for the AEW World Championship in the main event of the pay-per-view are somehow best friends, but not really, and they're fighting for tag team championships of a different company. Like, imagine Excalibur trying to explain that to, like, a casual person who hasn't been following.
I don't know. I kind of get, like, are they trying to do, like, a WrestleMania 10 kind of thing where it's, like, like guys at the show and then, you know, they come back at the end of the show kind of thing. I feel like maybe that's it. But, I mean, this is totally different. I mean, like, if I had to guess, first off, I think Hook. I'm going to say Hook beats Jungle Boy.
Wow. I mean, it's a toss-up. I could see it.
No, it's a 50. I'm just going to say Hook.
Yeah. All right, I'll go Jungle.
Okay. And then the tag match, I'll say Aussie Open retains.
Now, did they retain because of a miscommunication that further?
Yeah, it's got to be a miscommunication because that's all they've been doing the whole time. It has to, booking wise, it's only appropriate. And then they kind of just like walk out on each other. You know what I mean? Like maybe that's how it ends. No, not like in the match. Like it'll be miscommunication and that's how they'll lose. And that's like, real. I don't think it's going to be like, he's going to low blow them and then like they're going to start brawling and then you got to wait like 15 more hours and 25 more matches, you know. I think the first time they touch each other, besides a miscommunication super kick, maybe the double clothesline, because the double clothesline is something that has to happen, right?
Right, it's over.
So maybe they somehow counter this clothesline. Maybe the clothesline, maybe it has to do with that. Maybe that's how they like kind of like end up.
That they win the titles.
Okay.
And there's like, as they're celebrating, it's like there's a nut shot and Adam Cole turns on MJF and the stage is set. MJF, babyface, Adam Cole, heel, main event. You know, hey, we needed one more week of television to wrap this up, but we couldn't fit it in. We got a little too self-indulgent with the fucking Outback bloomin' onion fucking vignettes. So we're going to wrap it up here. You know, they're going to win because that's going to be interesting too. They're like, you know, put on your Tony Khan hat. Like, he thinks he's doing Shawn Michaels.
That's why I thought it would end flat, because sometimes a lot of shit ends flat with them.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to think of what's best. Like, that sounds like an amazing scenario. Sure, that works, and you can have that linger around till the end. Sure, Makai will still be hot, but there's always that this segment sucks because we watch the weekly broadcast.
Right.
Now,
okay, fair enough.
Have the power. They've done this before where the weekly programming will suck, and then all of a sudden it'll be like a 9 out of 10 pay-per-view.
You think that that's what we're looking at for Wembley Stadium?
I don't know. There's too many multi-tag matches, and there's not enough.
You know, I'm looking at this card, and you're right. There are only 2 singles matches the entire night.
Yeah, it's too much just bullshit. All right, but I like that scenario.
And I'll give them credit because it is something that has never before been done, where the main event match are on the pre-show fighting for the tag team titles. It's got potential to be interesting. It's got potential to be an absolute car wreck. You know, traditional wrestling logic says that you shouldn't even see Max or Adam before their match. But
or they could do the thing where they would show, Austin in the back, like tying up his boots, Rock's warming up in a mirror or putting oil on his body or something. It's like the dun 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 dun. theme, like that theme in the back,
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, it's probably you're right though. They're probably gonna botch it. There's also there's also a likelihood that whoever like Max will be injured. So then he'll like come out with like a knee, and we'll be getting medical updates all show about Max's knee and if he's going to be able to compete and all this stuff.
All right, so I'll take Aussie and you take them. We'll just do it like this instead of DraftKings. I'll just write all my picks down and then
and I'll just copy off your homework.
Yeah, that's fine. So main show. I guess I don't know if this is the actual lineup, like in the actual card itself, like, but it says trios match: Omega, Hangman, and Kota Ibushi versus JY Juice and Take a Shit.
And I guess Don Callis will be in the corner of Takeshita.
Yeah.
Okay, double duty for Don. Double duty Don.
I think I Take a Shit, Adam Page, Kota Ibushi. And this isn't for a title. I would say probably Golden Elite.
Yeah, I think this is just.
I don't think Kota Ibushi and them is ever going to take an L like anytime soon.
Yeah, this is just a feel good. We need Hangman Omega to have something to do. This is a feel good. Babyface is over. They get to perform in front of the crowd. They're not going to not be on the show. So this is like a thrown together thing to get Hangman and Omega on the show.
Coffin match: Sting and Darby versus Swerve and Christian.
Now, why wouldn't it be Swerve and Brian Cage? Like Swerve.
Because all right, so now we're getting into All Out stuff because the next weekend it's All Out and it's Darby versus Luchasaurus. For the TNT title. So I think a week out, I would say it's 100% that Sting and a coffin match. It's probably gonna be Sting and Darby on this one.
Yeah, I agree. But it's just so funny. Like Swerve is like this evil mogul, right? And he already has Brian Cage, the Machine, on his team. He fired AR Fox, hired Christian, who brought this evil dinosaur with him, and Swerve has chosen Christian as his partner, the 55-year-old guy in a turtleneck. So, like,
I think this is a really good opportunity for like them to really like actually push Darby now and get him away from Sting. If anything, this is what they should do: have them win this match, Sting and Darby, and then have him beat Luchasaurus, become the TNT champion, and then maybe have even like Sting turn on him or something like that, because maybe that's where they're going with the Joker thing. They're slowly building him into like being a wacko,
evil Sting.
and then Darby, they can add some real prestige to the TNT title, and Darby's been way better on the mic. He's kind of like coming into his own. Like, I think it's time to break them off. They have great matches, don't get me wrong. Like, Sting has these great matches with these guys. He's going to jump off of Wembley. He's going to climb up that fucking, what's that arc they have? He's going to jump off that, Sting's crazy now, and he's about to get a lot crazier. But like, I think if they went that path, that'd be some cool booking, and then really add, because they need to fix this TNT like mid card situation.
Yeah, agree. As if
I'm also going to add a ×2 to everything when we agree on it. So
as if the main show that we talk about isn't confusing enough, that's just another thing that Christian walks around with the title that's held by Luchasaurus. Which is a funny touch, but just on another confusing thing on a massively confusing program is just like whatever. It will be cool to see Christian and Sting interact, and I'm sure for everybody involved, not just those guys or this match, but the whole card, they're all going to be on like a freaking 10 because the crowd's going to be insane. It's going to be the biggest crowd any of them perform in front of probably ever. This is the one I'm looking forward to, Joe. This next one.
What'd you say?
This next one's the one I'm looking forward to.
Just a sidebar before we continue. I noticed, like, now that I said, like, Darby, they're pushing Darby. They're pushing Jungle Boy, pushing MJF. I mean, they always pushed MJF, but, like, now he's, like, champion, like, or babyface, whatever. They're all doing like serious things with those like pillar guys,
Yeah. Not
So
Sammy, though. Sammy's just in Jericho's corner.
I know that's what I was gonna get to. Everyone but Sammy, the one that they like were going not full gear, no pun intended, full throttle with, kind of from the jump, but yeah, it's just something I've noticed lately. All three of those guys being like at least way better.
Final thoughts on the coffin match. Do we see Edge? Yes or no?
In that match,
Yeah, that's the one with Christian.
I think it depends on where it's at in the card. That would probably help. That's why I'm like weirded out with this. That'd be ridiculous if this is the second match on the show and then have Edge come out. Do you want to put a sidebar and say Edge comes out there? I'm writing it all down. This post.
I'm gonna say yes, Edge. You're gonna put the whole thing on a post-it note. That's how Tony Khan wrote the show out too. He did the whole thing on a post-it note.
Then he rolled it up and snorted pre-workout.
Yeah. He loves his pre-workout.
I'll finalize it. Edge Pat. Okay. Yeah, I'm saying I think if it was higher up on the card, you know what I mean? Like if it was like second from the top, maybe they can always change that. If it's second from the top, or like third from the top, and then you have like a palate cleanser or you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like you don't do that early in the show.
Yeah, agree. All right, up next.
Stadium Stampede with a lot of names.
This is what we were trying to figure out before.
We're going into overtime tonight, by the way. Orange Cassidy, Best Friends, Eddie Kingston, Chantel Sarah Miedo, and a mystery partner versus John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Santana and Ortiz, and a mystery partner. So that looks a little better now that it's only 1-1, not 3 mystery partners on one side. But this is obviously not gonna go how it was originally planned anyway.
This is gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's likely that as they're fighting through the stadium, a crazy soccer fan might stab one of them.
I'm gonna say definitely BBC on this one. I think they always win these big,
Do you have any wild guesses as to who the mystery partners could be? Think famous.
Not Pac.
Okay, Pac. And who's another famous UK wrestler? Zack Sabre Jr.?
Yeah. Who's also the other one that has the daughter that was in NXT that trained everybody? Long-haired. He has short hair now.
The guy who has the daughter who was in NXT who trained everybody. And he's British?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fuck is her name? Like petite girl. She was in NXT. She's not there anymore. Was it Johnny? Was it Freddie?
Who cares? All right.
I'll text you later about
the Blackpool Combat Club is definitely going to win. I'm just excited to see them do the wildest, stupidest match in wrestling history and also the stupidest video game mode in history at Wembley Stadium. Stadium Stampede. They were the only do those. They'll
only do the moves from the game.
Yeah, which is just jump, kick, and punch.
Like jumping in.
Oh my god. I will be streaming at some point Stadium Stampede because you got to see this fucking shit for yourself. But yeah, I agree.
For the real World Championship, CM Punk versus Mojo.
The Black X belt.
This is definitely Punk.
Yeah, I'd say I could see it going either way, but I would say Punk retains because there's just more options, more things to do.
I think this is just like a big match like he wanted probably for them, having all the old ROH matches to bring this. I mean, I don't think it's going to go an hour like it used to, but
right.
I'd say it'd be a solid 20 minutes, 25.
Does CM Punk suck now?
No.
He doesn't, right?
just has less spotlight on him because it's on a different show.
Yeah. All right.
I think whatever he gets into next is going to be like, I'm pretty sure he's probably going to be in the main event at the next show, or if not, like,
Yeah, I mean, he's got
the
a,
next big program. Like I think it's going to be him.
and he's eventually got to come back around on Max at some point.
That's what I'm saying. That might be next. You know, but who knows with Edge and all this other things looming. AEW World Trios Championship. They claim in Daddy Ass, but it's not Daddy Ass. Daddy Ass couldn't make it. It's Badass Billy Gunn versus the House of Black.
I think House of Black win. Billy Gunn actually retires.
Yeah.
Tears of joy. I love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Yeah, I'll go with you on that one too. We agree on a lot of these.
Yeah.
Hook is gonna be the one I win on.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Here's a good one. AEW World Women's Champion World Women's World Championship. Sheeta's the champ versus Britt Baker versus Saraya versus Toni Storm. I was about to say two English girls, but there's only one English girl.
Toni Storm is Australian, right? Or from New Zealand?
Aussie. Yeah, she's Aussie.
She's being like a 1920s actress now.
I think they might just put it back on her, bro.
I think Saraya's got to win. Saraya has to win. Or Britt Baker. I think those are my two picks. I'm going to go Saraya because it's in England. They're paying a bunch of money. They're giving her a bunch of money.
Tony Khan loves his big pops for no reason, and then she'll lose the belt like on Dynamite or something, you know.
Yeah, I think
I'll take Tony. I'll take Tony on that one because I think they're going to do something with the new gimmick.
The only other thing is too that I mean they could just like, you know, you think about it, it's like WrestleMania. Britt's been there from the very beginning. Britt's going back to like her original All In gear. You know, we're turning the clock.
I feel like
back.
they're not doing anything with her anymore. I feel like she's already kind of. It's time for some of the other girls now to get pushed. Because what are they going to do? Another run?
Yeah. That's true.
You know, World Tag Team Championship FTR versus the Young Bucks. I think this is.
I have no clue. I could see either one.
You gonna flash his gat? No, I'm going with the Bucks on this, bro. They're not. The EVPs have to win.
Oh my God! Imagine
when they fly their whole family over.
Right. That right, and FTR,
You're lame, bro.
They just got paid, right? FTR just re-signed, so they're like, yeah, hey, you know what? If you want us to lose at Wembley, just cough up that cash, and we'll do the job.
All right, I
think, maybe, it's like. I just hate it either way because if the Young Bucks win, it's like, oh, fuck them. And then if they lose, it's also fuck them because they're like, look, we lost. You know, we're so nice. We did business the right way. See, CM Punk was wrong about us. We lost. We did the job. So either way, it's fuck the Young Bucks.
Yeah. Fuck the Young Bucks. Yeah.
But yeah, so.
And then the main event, Cole versus MJF for the world title. So you're saying you're locked into your scenario now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious to me that Adam is going to be the bad guy. Either after 0 Hour or either after this match. You know, and remember, these guys are all Attitude Era masturbators. They're all Bret Hart cucks. So so Tony Khan's like, oh, it's going to be like when Shawn Michaels. I don't know why Tony Khan sounds like Vince McMahon, but, you know, it's going to be like when Shawn Michaels Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold hated each other, but they won the titles. So Tony Khan's over here thinking he's doing that, and MJF and Adam Cole are over here thinking they're doing the Bret Hart Steve Austin double turn, and it's just all been put into a pot and cooked and stirred around. So I think this is Double Turn City, or Double Turn Jones, as Taz would say.
So I have MJF winning this because he's really convincing with the babyface thing. And
Or
Cole, I think Cole's the better heel. Well,
Adam Cole needs to be a heel because he's got nothing going for him, and he had nothing going for him before he finally teamed up with MJF. I think I'm gonna say Adam Cole is gonna win.
all right.
I think Adam Cole wins, and you know what? You flip it right back onto MJF next week. 2-time champion, first ever AEW 2-time champion. Is he the first time ever 2-time? I don't know. I don't care, but yeah. See, that's another thing too. It's like so crazy that all out.
Moxley, dude. Moxley's had it like 3 times now.
Oh, right. He has had it 3 times. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not up
He's
on my.
had it twice. Punk's already had it twice, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not up on my AEW statistics.
Yeah, Moxley and them both have had it twice because there was that whole fuckery with the him getting squashed and
and him getting hurt too.
That's where that was another one of them nails in the coffin.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, and the thing is too that if this was like WrestleMania or something that felt like definitive, I think it'd be easier to predict. But in any one of these matches, you could turn around and say, well, they could just flop it right back on All Out. Like, how much of this is going to be continuing on into All Out, and how many of them will like put a period and like close the chapter on whatever they're doing and move on to the next thing? Because you don't have another month to build it up. It's like the very next week. So a lot of this stuff is like you're probably going to keep run it back. I don't know.
Yeah, no. And just like I said with the Darby thing, that's going to continue because that match is already booked. I mean, honestly, you can might look up All Out Chicago card maybe and see what it says. I just don't know if I can. Oh yeah, first match is revealed. Okay, so Powerhouse, Hobbs, Miro.
Oh,
that's
right.
all there is. It's just Miro, Powerhouse, Hobbs, and Luchasaurus versus Darby. That's it.
And you're sure that's the very next week? Is it like September 9th, September 6th, something like that? September 4th?
No, it's September 3rd.
Jeez, yeah, so it is the next week. Yikes. Yeah. The Mensch of the Cinch will be successful, and I think MJF will be the heel in the end. I would love that. See, that would make me so happy if MJF was heartfelt and sincere looking into the camera. I've never had a real friend. You guys could trust me, and then he just turns around and fucking heels out Adam Cole. I would love that. But I just think the momentum is now too much in the other direction of that. Adam Cole's going bad. He needs to go bad.
Oh, and sorry to interrupt, but what's going on with Roddy in the Kingdom?
I love neck brace Roddy. I think he's so funny, and it was so lamey. Like
bad on the mic, dude. Like
the tire of the car.
Interview him right, and what did he say? He's like, "We're gonna find out who's the real, what friends really are, or like who is my real friend." ... Do
you think Kyle O'Reilly makes an appearance?
I think if they were smart, they could do that, and then just be like, "We're the Undisputed Kingdom," or something like that. I think that'd be kind of coolish.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Like Undisputed Kingdom, you have all the undisputed guys except for dumbass Fish, and then yeah, and then you have Bennett and Taven. You can just be like, "Yeah, we're the Undisputed Kingdom now."
That's
obviously with Cole, because then it would then match up with what you're saying.
Right, and then Cole could be the champion.
Yeah, so Cole would have to then win. So like now my predictions are kind of all over the place, but that's AEW. So yeah, no, I mean Cole would have to win. You'd have to like end the show with them like, over his body, and then you hear, "You think you know me." But it wouldn't be the what is it?
Alter Bridge.
It's Alter Bridge. I'm sorry. Yeah. It wouldn't be that one. It'd be like, "You think you know me. You think you know me." Dun, 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 and then he would come down the steps at Wembley. Dun, 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 dun,
wow.
like a really like the first singles run he had.
Yeah, I mean,
Starts humping the canvas with glasses and the big trench coat.
starts humping the canvas. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else like could happen. It's almost like there are no more free agents. It's like where it's like, oh, Adam Cole, his contract's up with WWE, and you heard like some rumblings. Like Daniel Bryan. It's like everybody is kind of where they are. The only free agent out there right now is Edge.
Well, look at it this way. It isn't like they haven't done this before where they bring out the big free agent and then follow it by another free agent in the same fucking segment. They've been the first people to do like crazy shit. So me just spitballing, saying Undisputed Kingdom, and then Edge comes out.
Could totally happen.
Yeah.
Are you going to any type of all-in brunch?
So I'm going to Nashville tomorrow for the weekend.
Nice.
And then I'm going to be flying back during it. So I have to like delete all social media off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
My phone, like right before I get on the flight. And then my girl will just pick me up and then I'll just come straight home and watch that.
Nice. Nashville. You're going to hang out with Miro.
Gotta avoid everything.
Yeah, don't watch anything because you're going to have it spoiled for you.
Yeah, I mean, I would just have to get rid of Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Put your phone on silent, airplane mode.
Yeah. Like, hey, landed, pick me up here, and then so it's like in the car with her, just put it in airplane mode, shut the phone.
Don't even look. Don't even look at it.
I gotta go down. I know I haven't seen you in a few days, honey, but
I have to watch this. I have to watch this
8 hours.
Yeah, 5-hour wrestling.
Watch this 24-hour show.
You know what? I think this is going to be one of those things where it starts off in the daytime, and then like by the main event it'll be nighttime. I love stuff like that. I love those
that's
outdoor.
like the Mania vibe. Yeah. No, it will because it's 5 p.m. over there. So by the main the sun will be down.
It's 5 p.m. It starts at 5 p.m. over there. So what? It starts at 11 here? Like 12, 11?
No, it starts 1 p.m. here. The pre-show is like noon or 12:30.
Nice. Well, I mean,
I could be dead wrong. Aren't they like 7-8 hours ahead over there?
I don't know. But they're lucky that football season hasn't started because I would be ignoring it completely to watch my fantasy football numbers grow and dip. But so that's it. We did a marathon show for an upcoming marathon show. Just about as long as the flight over there.
Only a little overtime. We did 2 hours, 15 minutes. So
yeah. Hey, and you know what? We do pee breaks on this show too. We do a break.
Oh, true.
So yeah, it was a pleasure as always. Have fun in Nashville.
Will do.
Are you planning anything special? Nashville? Or are you just going?
Gonna see Guns N' Roses and do my thing down there.
Dope.
Never been down there, so maybe we'll do what's that, Broadway or whatever they call that area, where it's like whatchamacallit, what's like in New Orleans, Bourbon Street of
yeah,
Nashville.
it's like you're gonna see all the great unsigned singers of country music performing.
And yeah, people puking in the streets, probably.
Oh yeah, well, I mean that's any city worth going to has homeless people's human feces on the sidewalks, people vomiting, and bright lights and beautiful times.
I'll give you my review when I get back. Nashville chicken review, hot chicken.
Oh yeah, hey, I think Jerry Lawler has a restaurant in Nashville, doesn't he?
Yeah, my buddy does a lot of cons with him and stuff. He has like a wrestling comic book, and Lawler does like the cover of it.
Nice.
A lot of the artwork for it as well, appearances, and like one time they just like walked through Nashville and like he really was the king. Like everybody like, hey Jerry, hey King, hey King, hey King, hey King. Like everybody treats him like a king down there. It's crazy. Like he's like legitimate living the gimmick.
Oh, I love it. He was just like, in wrestling, you can just be who you want to be and never say that you're not for as long as it takes for people to accept it. So, hey, shout out Jerry Lawler. Shout out Jerry Lawler. Rest in peace, Terry Funk. Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt, which is still very
Shout out
shocking.
Big Bill. Shout out Big Bill. He's in the chat.
Shout out Big Bill in the chat.
He was here earlier.
And also rest in peace the AEW Fight Forever, which I will most likely never be playing again unless it is to show y'all and make fun of it.
You should go stream it right now on Twitch.
Oh my God, I need a rest, Joe. This has been a marathon episode.
That's all right. All right.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Out of time. Bye-bye.
Boulevard.